Hi guys, Elaine here, the Animal Reiki Lady. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Thanks for joining me. A little bit different today, so I'm outside sitting in nature. You may or may not be able to hear the geese. There are some geese, there are some crows, definitely some crickets. But I'm sitting out here in nature because one of you has asked for a reading today for wildlife. And it is one of my favorite topics, something that we don't talk much about here. We talk about it a lot in our animal Reiki classes, but not much when it comes to these readings. So I am so happy to do this beautiful reading for wildlife. There goes one of the crows flying overhead. Could be a raven because they're pretty big. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. Maybe you can hear that. For those of you who are catching me for the first time, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, and I help people make really deep spiritual healing connections with animals, both here and on the other side of life. And the person who reached out to me today about the reading for wildlife is feeling a loss and a sadness because she had to change locations. And when she moved, she lost connection with some of the birds and some of the wildlife that were in the area that she loved so much. And what to do when you experience that kind of loss, not necessarily of a physical body, but a loss of a relationship with the animal that you had. It could have been through anything, through a separation, through a divorce, through a breakup. There are any number of reasons why we may not, why we may have lost a relationship with our animal companion. And that kind of thing needs healing just as much as loss through death. So that's what we're going to talk about today as I sit out in nature. Now, what you cannot see is that on either side of me are deer beds. So the deer come here in the evening and bed down, and there's these big flattened spots, and it's so beautiful. I feel so connected when I'm here. And that is what I want to share with you. You don't have to feel that loss with wildlife. You don't have to feel that loss with any animal, but let's focus on wildlife for right now. What is it about wildlife? They are everywhere. And if we can accept and embrace the fact that we are all connected, that every living thing is connected, whether it is these beautiful flowers behind me, the birds who fly through the air, the deer who bed down here, I can feel their connection through the earth. That's one way to reconnect with wildlife. The earth. The earth knows where you are at all times. Think about that. When your feet touch the earth, there's such a thing as earthing, if anybody has never heard of earthing. There's such a thing as earthing, and earthing is where you take your bare feet and you walk out onto nature. You walk in the grass, or you walk on the dirt, or you walk in the snow, whatever it may be, you take your feet and you plant them firmly on the ground. And you let the earth feel where you are, and you also feel the earth. You breathe up through your feet. So a lot of times when we talk about breathing in to ground ourselves and center ourselves and help ourselves find balance after we've been stressed, instead of breathing in from the air and the top, we breathe up through our feet and feel the strength and power of the earth. Feel that groundedness. Feel that stability as you breathe up through your feet, and let it fill your body with calm and strength and peace and grounding. And as you do that, the earth knows where you are. Let that thought sink in for a little bit. Think about placing your feet one in front of the other, and every time you place your foot, the earth knows where you are. I like to use the example of a beach too. When you are on the beach and you put your feet into the ocean, it's as if every animal who resides in the ocean, no matter where they are on this wide earth, they know where you are. They feel your vibration. So when you go outside and you would like to connect with wildlife, remember that the earth not only knows where you are, the earth knows where every living thing who resides on her is. So what you can do is take a step out onto the earth. Go someplace, go sit in nature. If it's freezing cold where you are, do it for just a couple minutes if you like, but let the earth remember where you are and let her connect you with wildlife. Now, it may not be the exact same birds. I know this feeling. So there was a squirrel that I absolutely adored, and where I lived, this beautiful squirrel would come every morning, would take seeds from my hands, would take peanuts from my hands was just so very friendly, and I loved that little squirrel. But when I moved, I left the squirrel behind. When I got to my new residence, I did this. I walked out onto the earth and I said, here I am, this is where I live now. Please bring me beautiful wildlife to be my friend. And I received birds. The most beautiful birds would come to visit. And then when I lived on the mountain, my husband and I sold our home, bought an RV, moved to the top of a mountain in a remote location, just us. And to be surrounded by, I did the same thing. I walked outside, I set my feet on the ground, and I asked Mother Earth to bring me wildlife. And we had deer, and we had birds, and we had fox, and we had elk, and we had a wolf, and we had mountain lion, and it was amazing. And now that I've moved back into civilization again, I've asked the same thing. I step outside, and what do I find? I am in a suburban area surrounded by this beautiful wildlife and a place where deer bed down. So we can find our connection again with wildlife. It is amazing how Earth responds and how wildlife will respond. Just ask for them to come back into your life in whatever form they choose. So whether it's birds or squirrels or frogs or bumblebees, whatever it may be, invite them into your life and reestablish that relationship with them again. You'll find the love is just as strong, and it doesn't matter the species. We are all connected, and Earth has a way of bringing us together. Now, let's go one step further. Let's think about those animals who have been part of our home, and now we can no longer connect with them. A beautiful way of connecting with animals is to go to a shelter or a rescue. So if you've got a humane society or an animal shelter, and you just go there to visit, they are so desperate for love. Every animal in a shelter, every animal who has been surrendered, every animal who has been abused or neglected, they would love for someone just to go there and be with them, to show them some affection, some attention, some love. If you'd love to volunteer, walking dogs, holding the kitty cats, that's perfect and beautiful, but you can just go and sit with them and be with them. Offer them some attention, open your heart to them, and watch how they respond. And it helps them to find their forever home too, because when they know that there are people out there willing to show them love and attention and see them for who they are, accept them for who they are, then they blossom and they flourish, they find peace, and they find their forever home. So there is a way for you to take positive, beautiful, inspired action, whether it is to connect with wildlife or whether it is to offer love to an animal in need. It'll heal you as much as it heals them. And for now, that's our message. Thank you for that beautiful request, because I love sharing this information. And continue to send me your requests, continue to send all those emails, and until the next video, may animals light your way.